Good morning, class. So today we're going to start with a new chapter, that is legal service. All right. So today we're going to start with a chapter named legal service in our country. So before we start, let us try to understand what do we actually mean by legal service. Now, we all know that India is a democratic country, isn't it? And our constitution, according to Article 14, we all have studied what is Article 14, equality before the law. Now, when our article guarantees us and gives us fundamental rights such as Article 14, Article 21, now it is the duty of the state to provide its citizen with a good legal service. Now imagine, we have a court, we have our own law, all are codified, isn't it? But there is no legal service. Then what will happen? It will all go in vain, isn't it? So, in order to give justice to the people, no matter that person belongs from a high social level or a very low social level, it is the duty of the nation to provide a good legal service. So, legal service is providing services of the law to each and every part of the society. All right. For example, now legal service, when there is a case. Now let's take an example. Those people belonging from a higher class or a richer society, isn't it? Now our society has been divided into categories, isn't it? The upper class, the middle class, the lower middle class, and the lowest one. Now people belonging from the higher society, they have their money, isn't it? And they can provide a very good legal service for themselves when it is required. But what about people belonging from the lower class of the society? They do not have money, isn't it? Now we are living in such a country that poverty is at the top, isn't it? So what about those section of people? Who will give them justice? Who will provide them legal aid? Keeping that in mind, the lawmakers of our country decided to make a system called legal service, specially to provide help legally to those people belonging from the lower class of our society. This was the main concept, to have legal service. Now, in our chapter, in our syllabus, we have legal aid in Indian legal system. So, what is legal aid in Indian legal system? Now, before we go over there, now we already know that our system, it is adversarial system, and we all know the reason. The reason was because our nation was first colonial nation, that is, it was ruled by the British. Now during their administration, they have set up adversarial type of system, that is, the prosecution or the prosecutor has to prove that someone is guilty. Now that is adversarial system. All right. So what is legal aid in Indian legal system? Well, I'll try to read out. The legal system that exists in our country is uniform for both the special category of people as well as people who fall under the ambit of the term common man. Now, as I've already said that in our system, in our judicial system or legal system or in a legal aid, law is equal for each and every class of the society, no matter he is a very political, powerful person or that person is a layman or a common man. All right. The term common man usually refers to an ordinary man without any specifications regarding his status in society. For example, if there is a injustice to a common man, we can imagine he is just an example. All right, he is a servant or he is in a very local term, kuli. All right, now he is a common man. He has got no specification. He's neither a powerful person, he's just an ordinary person. Alright, now who will give legal service to those type of people? So this is what common man is all about. It is usually stated that the success of a legal system in achieving justice depends upon the uniform existence of the legal resources against any violation of a common man's right. Now, we all know that might is right. There is a saying in law, might is right. When we translate in Nepali, that is jasko shakti त्यसकै bhakti. This we have seen every time, isn't it? Even in movies, even in stories. Like people belonging from the higher class or the richer class, they always try to dominate people belonging from the lower class of the society. This is might is right. But in order to achieve a complete legal system, there has to be a law. There has to be something called legal service who will look in a same manner. It will not differentiate that, okay, this person belongs from a higher society and this person belongs from a lower society, or he is a common man. Alright, so whenever there is injustice, especially for common man, there is always a system called legal service in our country. The legal system shall be considered to be successful if legal aid is equally available to people from all sections of society. Now we should always remember that legal service is complete when there is equal justice to all the people living in a society without having any discrimination. And this is what, when we relate to Constitution, this is what our Article 14 tells us: equality before the law. We all are equal before the law. Alright? Another example I would like to give is, there are two people, A and B. Alright? So this is a very highly influenced person. Let's say he is a political person. Alright? He is a neta. And this fellow over here is a poor farmer. He is a poor farmer. Alright. Now, when he is an influential person in a society, he has a money. Isn't it? Influential person, he has a money. That automatically connects. Now, when we look at Mr. B, he is just a farmer, he is a poor fellow. Now it's a very, let's try to imagine, and it is very common that this person will always try to dominate this one when the time comes, if there is a dispute between these two persons, isn't it? But in legal service, this person, Mr. B, also has the equal right to get his legal aid from the government if he can't afford it. If this person has no money, he is a poor fellow and he is a rich guy, he will hire one of the best lawyers in the country, isn't it? But this fellow, he is a poor one. Alright, so in legal service, this person also has every right to have a legal representative for him, even though he will not have any money. So this is what all it's trying to tell us. The exact situation is visualized by the lawmakers in India as well. So this was visualized by the lawmakers when they were making law. Alright, so this is what legal service is all about. Legal services is providing legal service to each and every part of the society, whether he is a rich one or he is a very common man or a poor man. Alright, so moving on to next is, which is very, very important, the status of legal studies in our constitution of our country. Now we all know Constitution, we can term it as a Gita, a Bible, a Quran, anything of a country, isn't it? Constitution is the supreme law of the country, which governs and which constitutes each and every organization of the state, isn't it? So Constitution is supreme. Now, what is the status in the Indian Constitution of legal services? According to Article 39A. Now, please remember this. Article 39A is related with legal services in Indian Constitution. In Indian Constitution. Alright. So, Article 39A guarantees legal services or legal aid in our Constitution and in our country. Now, what does Article 39A states? Equal justice and free legal aid. Alright, the state shall secure that the operation of the legal system promotes justice. Now, this is Article 39A trying to tell us the state shall secure. It is the duty of the state to secure legal system promotes justice. But it is the duty of the state to secure that there will be justice when the time comes. Alright, this is what it is trying to say. On a basis of equal opportunity, and shall in particular provide free legal aid by suitable legislation or schemes or in any other way to ensure that opportunities for securing justice are not detained to any citizens by reason of economic or other disabilities. Now, this is what it's trying to tell us. Now, Article 39A instructs or directs the state to secure what? Justice. Alright. To whom? To every citizen who lives in this country. Whether that person is economically weak or have disabilities. Now, I have already given you an example that if a person is poor plus what to say now? Poor. If a person is poor, then automatically he has no money, isn't it? Now, if you don't have money, then he can't fight if he has to go through a legal dispute or a legal fight, isn't it? So, in order to provide justice in every section of our society, Article 39A was introduced. Alright, so that is number one thing. Another one is person with disabilities. You must always remember that every person or every human being has a right to fight if there is injustice against him. Whether he is a beggar, whether he is a mentally unsound mind. Alright, even those persons have rights to fight legally if he is a victim of injustice. Alright, so this is why 39A has guaranteed legal services under the Constitution of our country. So no person shall be deprived for the legal services. Alright, so each and every one has their rights. Whether that person is mentally unsound mind, whether that person is a beggar, whether that person is a poor farmer or a poor lady. Alright, now another example is in every state this facility has been given. Now, this is not just a syllabus, but this is also a knowledge which you can pass on to your friends, to your neighbors, to anyone. Remember one thing, in our Kalimpong district court also, we have a legal cell or a legal service aid cell. Alright, the reason is people belonging from people who depends on daily wages or people from disabilities. Alright, in a very simple way, people who don't have money to fight a legal battle, they can always access to the free legal service provided by the state. Always remember, whether it's any kind of dispute, family dispute, OSCE, any type of, you can always access to this type of facilities. Later on we will discuss in a very elaborate manner. Now, I hope you have understood what our Constitution under Article 39A trying to tell us. Now, it directs the state to provide equal justice And justice to whom? Justice to every person belonging, alright, whether he is a poor man or he is a rich man. So each and every person living in this country has a right to access to the legal service provided by the state, and they should have equal justice. Alright, so this is what Article 39A trying to tell us. Now, moving on to next is legal service authorities. Alright, legal service authorities. Now we have a legal system, legal service system, which provides free legal aid. Now there has to be some organization or authority which will monitor and which will provide these kind of services. So we will start with the number 1. Legal service authorities. The Legal Service Authorities Act 1987 provides a structure mechanism for providing legal aid through establishment of bodies at various levels. So the Legal Service Authority Act of 1987 does what? It makes a body which will look after all these matters. Alright, so number 1 is National Legal Service Authorities, also known as NLSA. Okay, so the number one legal service authority is National Legal Service Authority. Section 3 of the Act provides for construction of National Legal Services Authority. It is laid down that the central government shall constitute a body to be called the National Legal Service Authority to exercise the powers and performance the functions conferred on the central government under this act. Now it is a body which comes under the central government. Alright, this National Legal Service Authority. Now according to section 3 clause 2 of the act, the central authority shall comprise of the Chief Justice of India, who shall be patron-in-chief, a serving or retired judge of the Supreme Court to be nominated by the President in consultation with the Chief Justice of India, who shall be the executive chairman, and C. such number of other members possessing such experience and qualification as may be prescribed by the central government to be nominated by the government in consultation with the Chief Justice of India. So, and what are the functions? Now, what are the functions of this National Legal Service Authority? Number 1 is lay down policies and principles for making legal service available under the provision of this act. B is frame the most effective and economical schemes for the purpose of making legal service available under this provision of this act. And number 3 point is utilize the funds at its disposal and make appropriate allocation of funds to the state authority and district authorities. So this is the reason why this organization or the authority was introduced. Now another authority is State Legal Service Authority. Now first is national, now comes the state. Alright, now what is State Legal Service Authority? Section 6 of the Act provides for constitution of State Legal Service Authority. It is stated that every state government shall constitute a body to be called the Legal Service Authority of the state to exercise the powers and perform the function conferred on or assigned to a state authority under this act. So, not only the central government but the state government also has to establish this legal service. Now, that is called the State Legal Service Authority. Now, this state legal service authority is nothing but it monitors, and it is the duty of this authority to provide legal services to the people who needs it. All right. Now what are the functions of the State Legal Service Authority? Number one is to give effect to the policy and direction of the central authority. Number 2 point is to give legal service to person who satisfy the criteria laid down under this act. It gives free legal services to those person who has fulfilled the criteria under this act. Number 2 point. Number 3 is to conduct Lok Adalats, including Lok Adalats for High Court cases. That is tribunal, Lok Adalat. Let us try to correlate things. Alright. Number 4th point is to undertake and strategic legal aid programs. Alright. So the state has to conduct legal aid programs. Alright. To act in coordination with other governmental agencies, non-governmental voluntary social service institution, university and other bodies engaged in the work of promotion of the cause of legal service to the poor and shall be guided by such direction as the central authority. Now if you have noticed that in our Kalimpong also we have an NGO called Bal Suraksha Abhiyan. Alright. So what is the function of that organization? It's a non-governmental organization or NGO. The Bal Suraksha organization is an organization related with child, protection of child and protection of women, and it specially focus on protection of a child labor. Alright, now when we talk about child, automatically that child is weak, isn't it? And he has no money to fight if he has to fight, isn't it? So he or she needs a legal aid. Now that is a organization called Bal Suraksha organization, BSA, which is there for the protection of a child. Now what clause 5 trying to tell us is, it is the duty of the state to have coordination with such kind of NGOs. Alright, and to have a free program awareing people about legal services, legal aids provided by the state. Alright, so this is what coordination with NGOs trying to tell us. Now, in law colleges also, with the coordination of the state and the department, the law college, they conduct a program for legal awareness. They go for a survey and they organize a program in villages, especially in villages. Alright, and what they give information, they inform people that there is a legal service which will provide a free legal aid if the time comes, to provide equal justice to each and every society of our country under Article 39A. Alright. So this is what the functions of state legal service authorities is. Moving on to next is district legal service authority. Now first is national, second one is state, now comes district. Alright. Section 9 of the Act provides for the constitution of District Legal Services Authority. So Section 9 of the Act has given or has protected or provides a district authority for legal services. Now even in Kalimpong we have a cell. If you visit to Kalimpong District Court, there you will find legal cell, legal service cell or legal aid cell. Alright. Why that cell is there or established? Because of Section 9 of the Act. Alright. Section 9 of the Act provides for the constitution of District Legal Service Authority. It is stated that the state government shall, in consultation with the Chief Justice of the High Court, constitute a body to be called District Legal Service Authority for every district in the state to exercise the power and perform the function conferred on or assigned to the district authority under this Act. So, Section 9 of the Act gives the power and directs the state that in every district there must be a district legal service cell. And the reason is why? To give legal services especially to those people who can't afford it, and they are economically weak, or they have some disabilities. All right, so this is the reason why in every district we find a legal service authority. Now, according to section 9 clause 2, a district authority shall consist of the district judge, who shall be its chairman. So the judge, who is the district judge of Kalimpong or in any part of the district, he will be the chairman of this authority. Number 1. B. Such number of other members possessing such experience and qualification as may be prescribed by the state government to be nominated by the government in consultation with the Chief Justice of the High Court. Number 2. Now, what are the functions of district legal services? Number 1 is to perform such of the function of the state authority in the district as may be delegated to it from time to time by the state authority. Number 2 point is to coordinate the activities of the Tuluk Legal Service Committee and other legal service in the district. Number 3 point is to organize Lok Adalats within the district. Number 4 is to perform such other functions as the state authority may fix by regulations. And the 5th point is to act in coordination with the other governmental and non-governmental institutions, universities engaged in the work of promotion, the cause of the legal service to the poor, and shall be guided by such direction as the central authority or the state authority may give to its writing. Alright, so what are the functions? It monitors, and number 2, it guides. Number 3, it provides legal services to those people, to those section of society who are poor or economically weak. Alright, but the main objective for having these authorities is very simple: to give equal justice to every person living in this country. And this has been guaranteed by our constitution. Alright, so this has been guaranteed. Now, when the constitution guarantees this kind of services, then it is for the citizen of the country. Alright, because when we try to study our preamble in our constitution, over there is a line which states that it must uplift every section of our people economically, politically. Alright, so this is the reason why the state or the legal service authority has been introduced by the lawmakers. Alright, now things to remember: there are altogether 3 legal service authorities. First is national, second is state, and the third one is district. And the main primary objective of this authority is to give justice to whom? To those people who are economically weak or people having disabilities. Alright. Now, criteria for giving free legal aid. Now, there has to be a criteria, alright, for providing a free legal aid. So, what are they? Number 1 is the criteria for giving legal service are prescribed under section 12 of the Act. So, according to section 12 of the Act, what are the criteria? What are the things that a person must require in order to have or in order to access free legal aid service from the state? So, let us try to understand and read. Number 1 is a member of a scheduled caste or a scheduled tribe. So, if a person belongs from a scheduled caste or a scheduled tribe, then that person can access this free legal aid service. Number 2, A victim of trafficking in human being or beggar as referred to in Article 23 of the Constitution. So if a person is a victim of human trafficking, now when human trafficking comes, especially and in a very common, there are two classes, isn't it? First is the most let's say like the most common one is trafficking of child, isn't it? And second one is trafficking of a woman, isn't it? So if a child or a woman is a victim of human trafficking, then he or she, a child or that woman who has been a victim can gain access to the free legal aid. Number 3, a woman or a child. Now if a person is a woman or a child, then also that person can directly access to free legal aid service. Now as I've already said, giving the example of BSA, isn't it? Now the third is a person with disabilities as defined in clause 1 of the section 2 of Person with Disabilities Act. Number 3, a person with disabilities. Now disabilities means what? Like if you are a handicap or if you are blind, isn't it? So these are all people belonging from having disabilities, isn't it? They are not a normal human being like you and me. So people belonging from people who has disabilities, they also can gain access to this free legal aid system. Another one is a person under circumstances or undeserved ones, such as being a victim of a mass disaster, ethnic violence, caste advocacy, flood, drought, earthquake, or industrial disasters. So a person who faces this kind of natural calamities, they also can access for this type of free legal aid. Another one is an industrial workman. Alright, a person who works in industries. G is in custody, including custody to a protective home within the meaning of Clause G of Section 2 of the Immoral Traffic Prevention Act 1956, or in a juvenile home within the meaning of Clause J of the Section 2 of the Juvenile Justice Act. Alright, so a person who is in a custody of a protective home. A protective home is let's say a home like a old age home, for example, a old age home or a children home. You must have heard about children home where orphans are kept, or an old age home. All right, so these are the things. Now the last one is in receipt of annual income less than rupees 9,000 or such other higher amount as may be prescribed by the state government, if the case is before a court other than Supreme Court, and less than rupees 12,000 or each other higher amount as may be prescribed by the central government, if the case is before the Supreme Court. Now, a person who has an annual income of 9,000, those person or those family also can gain access to these kind of services if the case is going through High Court. Now, and the person or a family whose income is 12,000, they can also access to this legal aid if the case is going at Supreme Court, or may be prescribed by the state government or state legal service authority. All right, so this is what legal service is all about. All right, so in next class we'll start with another new chapter. Now there are only 2 chapters left. All right, so if you have any doubts, you can always call me or WhatsApp me. All right, so this is all for the day. Thank you.